In many areas around Hertford County or in Hertford County, they never heard of Juneteenth until the last couple of years. But 10, 15 years ago, we were hosting Juneteenth right here at the C.S. Brown Cultural Arts Center.
And making people today of aware of how blessed we have been to have had the first black school, high school in North Carolina. We had the first black high school in North Carolina.
I just love it because I love people and I love activities. And I think that we need something to unite us. And then having a cultural arts center in your local community gives us an opportunity to come together.
We have here is always like coming home. And this place is very special to me.
Hello, I'm Marvin Tupper Jones, and I had 4 years of classes in the beautiful C.S. Brown Auditorium. This example of Greek Revival architecture is one of 5,300 school buildings funded by Jewish Rosenwald, the great philanthropist.
For over 95 years, the auditorium has served our community as a school and then as a cultural arts center and museum. Let me tell you its story and its need for support and restoration. While Brown Auditorium was built in 1926, its background story begins with the school's rise out of the Civil War. When the war ended in 1865, community schools for students of color quickly arose. In a few years, young men and women of color immediately began seeking educations beyond their fledgling community schools. These students include those from northeastern North Carolina's Hertford County area. The now Hampton University in Virginia and Shaw University in Raleigh were the two nearest schools that offered higher education in the late 1860s. But Hampton and Shaw were not yet colleges. They taught what African Americans, mixed race, and indigenous people did not have yet, a high school or normal education that would lead to a life more independent of the hardships of Jim Crow and the opportunity of expanding education. From the end of the Civil War and beyond, attending faraway schools meant traveling by carriage and boat, and paying for boarding to get a high school education and certificate. This would allow graduates to teach up to the 6- and 8-year level. It was costly. By 1885, at least 50 students from our area had endured that cost and attended Shaw. A similar number were attending Hampton. Shaw was evolving into a college, and its graduates were now prepared not only to teach at high school levels, but to lead and found them as well. That year, 1885, leaders of color from the Hertford County area formed an organization to create Chowan Academy, which taught at the normal or high school level. It allowed its graduates to teach at elementary levels. It was the first standalone high school for students of color in North Carolina. Chowan Academy became the Waters Training School and was finally named after its founding principal, Calvin Scott Brown. Dr. Brown, a recent Shaw University Divinity graduate, was a Baptist missionary and journalist who reported on church and school developments. He knew Shaw students and graduates from Hertford County. Some of these became Chowan Academy's first teachers. Following the school's opening in 1886, the number of Hertford County area students at Shaw decreased as more could stay near their homes to acquire high school educations. Among the notable graduates of the school are Robert Lee Vann, a lawyer and newspaper publisher, Hobson R. Reynolds, civil rights leader and head of the Elks, Katie M. Hart, a pioneering librarian, and Rudolph Jones, president of Fayetteville State University. Other graduates include lawyers, dentists, military officers, business owners, physicians, and hundreds of educators and shipbuilders. The now Waters Training School campus expanded from one building to several, including dormitories. Students came from several counties and Virginia to attend. The philanthropist Julius Rosenwald was inspired by his friend Booker T. Washington to fund over 5,300 school buildings for African Americans in the South. Rosenwald funded the last building Dr. Brown added to the campus. It is the C.S. Brown Auditorium, built in 1926, and it is one of the largest of the Rosenwald School buildings. The auditorium building has a Greek Revival facade. It is 10,000 square feet with 6 classrooms, 2 office rooms, the auditorium, and a stage. Brown Auditorium began to lay fallow after the high school component ceased in 1970. Efforts shortly began to restore it and convert the auditorium to a new use. Led by alumni and Reverend James Andrew Felton, a pastor, teacher, and civil rights leader, the building was turned over to a new committee, the C.S. Brown Regional Cultural Arts Center and Museum. Another civil rights pastor, State Representative Melvin C. Creasy, secured a $100,000 grant from the state of North Carolina. When the restoration was completed, the C.S. Brown Cultural Arts Center and Museum opened during the school centennial in 1986. Since then, the center has hosted performances, annual programs, plays, exhibits, displays, an African art gallery, receptions, weddings, memorial services, a children's camp, meetings, and reunions. School alumni and others continue to donate to the auditorium. The first Juneteenth program in Hertford County was held there in 2012. The pandemic has strongly decreased the auditorium's use and revenue. Despite that, 2 of the 4 Greek Revival portico columns were recently replaced, and there's a search for the funding for the other 2. Since the 1986 restoration, a new overhaul is needed. Water damage repair and prevention, building code updates, and expanded electricity are among the needs. As the C.S. Brown Auditorium approaches its first 100 years, our community is dependent on you to join the effort to renew and strengthen the C.S. Brown Auditorium's mission of public service. Please make a tax-deductible donation at chawandiscovery.org/preservation. Thank you very much.
I donate to the center, and each year I try to do more and more because I know the expenses of the center.
But at the Cultural Arts Center, that word in itself, cultural, is the thing that ignites my interest in this building, because I am a singer and I did do some local acting in the theater. So that's just who I am. So when you say cultural arts, I'm thinking singing, dancing, music, those types of things. And that's one of the reasons why I'm involved in working here at the center.
I donate because I want to see this building continue to stand. Like I said, I went to school here. This was my second home, and it's a part of me. And so I donate because I love this place. And you know, when we used to sing our alma mater, "Dear old CSB," oh how I love thee, and that's a part of me, and that's why I donate and contribute, because I want to see this building continue to be here for years to come.
And why do you donate to the Cultural Arts Center?
Because I believe in that there is a historical heritage that should be kept up, continued, because of the area that we're in. There's not, you know, we don't have access to plays and educational kinds of things that our children, not only the children, but the adults also, could learn and enjoy and profit from. And this is the perfect place to have those kinds of activities.